Okay, we are trying this again. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. We are back in the thing. Here we go. You guys let me know if you can hear me now that I'm back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Okay. Could you
Okay.
hear me before you logged on?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
This time
perfect.
I could.
Okay. I went ahead and added my AirPods to make this easy. Well,
Okay.
hello, Becky. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. Um, I'm really excited that we get to chat, but like I feel kind of, I don't know, like y'all sold out of the hidden bar, but it's
I know. I was getting ready to say we're talking about it after the fact, but yes,
I
everyone
know.
who didn't necessarily get a chance to get your hands on, we did sell out the day that it released. Which,
Yep.
cheers to you on that. I'm sipping Hidden Bar now. Can't be mad at something selling out. I'm not gonna lie.
No, no, it was a good thing, but all that tells us is we just need to make more of it, you know? So,
Yeah.
okay.
So, were we you guys' primary distributor, or were you guys able to allocate some cases elsewhere too?
So we allocated the majority of our cases between Kentucky and Colorado. Those are
Oh,
our
okay.
confirmed, structured up distributor states. You
Mhm.
guys are a partner as far as like being able to reach the masses through direct
Yeah.
shipping, which is awesome. But I do know like we've been getting requests left and right, like, is it going to be available here and here and here? And it's like
Yeah.
seal box, like get
Yeah.
on there. That's you guys have a lot of states now, which is an awesome thing.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully these states are finally allowing us to do what we do best. Some of them are
Exactly.
making our life difficult, but that's okay.
You know, it's the system is I'll hold my opinions on the
I
system of
know, right? That could be some off-camera talk.
yeah, we'll discuss that later. But anyways, do you have a pour
Yes,
of it?
I do. Of course, of
What do you
course.
think? I'm
It is
scared.
only right. It's
I'm nervous.
delicious. What are
Okay,
you
good.
scared of? Okay,
I don't
tell
know
me.
because I'm just saying
Because we're
like it's
already about to dive into your career now. You already know you got some good juice in this bottle.
I don't know.
It is.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Like
well, you know what you like.
I do. And it's funny because when I made that first blend for batch
Mm-hmm.
number one, right, from those 7 barrels, in between putting together and constructing that batch and actually releasing that batch, I had
Mm-hmm.
COVID pretty bad and my palate has shifted
Ah, so
quite
your
a bit.
palate was. Hmm.
Yes. So when we finally got it like done, like in a bottle, I tasted it and I was like, oh no, what have we
It
done?
wasn't what you originally had
It
tasted.
wasn't. No, I
Wow.
mean, the liquid hasn't changed. I have
Hmm.
changed, but I haven't heard anybody say like, oh, it's terrible. Like no one's like dumped it on the floor yet. So that's a good
Yeah,
sign,
no,
I guess.
I'm not throwing it in any barrels, so it's delicious. It is delicious for
Perfect.
sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you have been. So you started as master blender and taster for Old Forester, correct?
Yep, I was master taster for Old Forester for well, I was with the brand for 7 years and I want to say it was
Hmm.
like 5.5 or 6 as master taster.
Okay.
But yeah, and then jumped straight into this. My last day there was my first day here. So
Oh wow.
I
And
tried to
so,
take time
what were
off,
you doing those first 2 years? You took time off
so
just long enough to breathe,
I
basically.
well, I tried to. I thought like surely they'll fire me, because I'm gonna work for another brand and like that's the way it goes. So I was like, I'll give
Yeah.
you my 2 weeks notice, but I know I'm gonna have 2 weeks off of work finally. Um,
Yeah.
that didn't have. They're like, okay, and I'm like, huh? Please just fire me. He was like,
No, they
okay,
didn't.
let
They
me
weren't
go.
ready to let you go. Yeah,
No.
I love that.
Um,
You can't be mad at that.
no, but like at the same time, I'm like, oh God, like I
A
need a
break.
break.
Yeah.
Luckily, we're on a smaller team now and it's a much smaller brand, obviously. So I've got time to live life while doing it, I guess is the best
Yeah.
way to phrase
Yeah.
it. But
So you're excited to be for being a part of like a smaller brand as opposed to
oh
working for
yeah,
such a monster like Brown Forman.
absolutely. I mean, and there's pluses and minuses to both, right? Like always, there's
Hmm.
always like,
Pros and
but
cons.
it
Yeah.
just the way that I'm wired, I need to have more I don't know, more autonomy. And like when you get the
Hmm.
bigger and bigger you get, the more layers there are of approvals and the more risk there is. That's the most important point, I guess, of all of that. If you have more to lose, you're a lot more careful about the things that you do.
Hmm.
And not to say we're out there just like, you know, willy-nilly, like doing whatever, like we're still being compliant and things like that, but we don't have a long history of like, well, this is what went wrong back in like 1989, so like we're not
Yeah.
even gonna
Yeah.
try, we're like, I guess we'll see.
Let's give it a try. Yeah,
Why
exactly.
not? Yeah,
I love
awesome.
that. So was your first introduction into actually being in the whiskey space? Because I know you started in on premise, but was Old Forester or Brown Forman, just that whole umbrella, that was your intro into just being in this space in terms of tasting, blending, that type of stuff at all? Or were you doing
Yeah,
something else before that?
so I was kind of, while in that on-premise side, so in my role as a beverage director, I was still doing things then that I had to do, even now that I would have to be doing. A lot of it was like public facing things, media things, and different like sorts of events. It was interesting. I was doing work for a whole bunch of different brands on the side, for stuff like that. But then once I switched over to Old Forester, it was still kind of the same thing. So it started as Master Bourbon Specialist, which is just a made up title for someone who didn't want the title Master Mixologist, because I don't like the M word. So yeah, so it was kind of this like brand ambassador, drink strategy, kind of like go and train people and do tastings, but also we need you in brand advocacy with trade partners and such. And then, with the building of the new distillery down on Main Street, I kind of made my mind up that like, no, like I want to commit to this. Like I want to be a part of this. I want to drive this. And at that point I committed to like, okay, I'm going to go the master taster route, which ultimately, it evolves and grows. Your workload shifts a little bit, but you're still kind of serving the same purpose. You're a face, right? Like you're a person representing a brand in the same way that the master distiller role is, etc. You just don't have as much authority to make decisions. So
how did you go about making that transition? When you decided that tasting and blending, that's what you wanted to do, how did you make that transition in terms of, like, how did you even navigate that space in order to get into that role?
Well, so every company has a different sort of format for what those roles even mean, right? Like there's like Panera has master tasters for mac and cheese. Literally, that's true. That is a real job.
For mac and cheese.
Some lady came up to me at Bourbon and Beyond a couple of years back and was like, "You're a master taster. I'm the master taster for Panera for mac and cheese." And I'm like, "Huh?" Like, oh my God. Like,
and so she only tastes the mac and cheese.
I don't know. Maybe they
not
do
the
it
bread
same
bowl?
way we did. I know, right? The carb master of Panera.
That's the carb master. I like that.
I don't know. They might all work together the same way we did. Like I had to taste vodkas and tequilas and things like that at BF still. So BF has a very specified development plan, I guess you can call it, for this sort of role. Marianne went through it. Elizabeth, who's now assistant master distiller for Woodford, she went through it. I think Peggy No was really crucial in kind of developing what that framework was going to look like. So they kind of knew exactly like, oh, you need to learn this, you need to learn this, you need to do this and this and this, like check all the boxes. And so I just vocalized, I showed up and I said to Campbell, like, by the time that new distillery is open, like I want to be the master taster for this brand. And he was kind of like, oh, okay. Jackie wants to be master taster. Okay. Like, and like set up the structure for me in order to make that happen. So yeah, you got to say what you want. No one knows what you want. You got to know what you want and then you got to say it and then maybe it'll happen. I don't know, but yeah.
Love that. Okay. Closed mouths don't get fed. Noted.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
So Hidden Barn, how did that come into fruition? Because you're a partner in this, correct? Like you're not just on as like a taster and blender. You're correct. You're in this. So
there's gonna be
you have a cat too?
Yeah. So I
have two, and one of them's a kitten. So I might have some distractions try to come into mind as well.
I know, that's okay. They always find a way. They always find a way in. But so Hidden Barn was just a little bit different. I was kind of at the point with my role at BF where I was struggling to align what I What's up, Crash? Come here. You can stay in here. He like needs to be a part of it.
It's okay.
He's a little ham. I got to the point where I couldn't feel the right alignment with what I was doing, where I was going, what was available to me. And just the way that I'm organically wired, you know, I felt like and this isn't Brown-Forman's fault. This isn't anybody's fault. I mean, some of us just do well to work, you know, with our hands, and some of us do well to work with our minds. Some of us are really good at politics. Some of us aren't. Like, I am a person that needs to have creative freedom, and I don't think the creative freedom that I needed was available in a space that was risk averse. And so it took me a long time to come to that conclusion and to make that decision, because it's scary, right? You're like, this is safe, this is secure, like this is, you're guaranteed basically, like just don't screw up and like you're good, you're fine, like you're in a great spot. To go, why don't I just throw all that away and hope it works out? Like, it's kind of scary. So but you make decisions in however format works for you. I do it as, I'm not saying it's not important to think things through and to use logic, but I make a lot of my best decisions just by feeling into it, and it felt right. Yeah, it felt right.
I love that.
So I did it.
So why the name Hidden Barn? Where'd that come from?
So Hidden Barn refers back to the black barns of Kentucky. That's why you'll always see it in a black logo. They're sprinkled about the state, and I'm not saying they're only in Kentucky, but the relevance to Kentucky's history is really important with it. So when you are distilling, or whenever you're aging whiskey, barrels, whatever, you're going to have a lot of ethanol in the air from that maturation process, especially. And I think a lot of, if you're tuning into this and you're already kind of a whiskey nerd, you know about the fungus that grows on the outside of warehouses and around on the trees and everything else. It's naturally occurring microflora. It just has an appetite for ethanol. And so, of course, if you're making whiskey in your barn illegally, everyone's going to know about it because it's going to be spotted with black, right? And so you paint it so it doesn't look like it's spots, but then everyone's like, you painted your barn black to cover your spots. So what they did was that you see them in like clusters of the ones that are still standing anyways, because as people were doing this sort of undercover distillation, if you will, their neighbors would paint all their barns black too, so you didn't know the source, and it was just this like weird,
literally a hidden barn.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So this first series, and Royce Neely of the Neely Family Distillery is one of our partners as well. This first series is all really highlighting his natural gift of distillation. Like, he's incredible. He's incredibly gifted. And so we're really like playing back into that time of, I know he's like 11th generation, technically 11th generation moonshiner, if you will. So like,
wow,
there's a lot of stories.
Yeah, I love that. And so the Neely family, in terms of their role within the partnership, are they like producing the juice and then you're coming in and essentially creating all the blends?
Yep, for this particular series,
or at least for this batch,
it has all been made at Neely. We're open to wherever this takes us. We didn't want to back ourselves into any corners and be like, we're always going to do this, we're always going to do that. I don't know, like,
love that, because that would be the purpose of why you made the jump in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yeah, if we find some cool liquid out there that people are doing in a process that we align with, which is always quality first, no matter what, and leave the egos aside, that's all we're asking people for. So I don't know, there's kinds of cool whiskeys coming to fruition, ripening in the market right now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Do you have any faves among the smaller, more craft brands, like outside of the big, you know, the big mega umbrellas like the Buffalo Traces and the Brown-Formans?
Yeah. I do. I know that I have encountered some that I really, really like. I'm not going to mention a single one of them because I might want to buy barrels from them. And if I start saying like, oh, you do this and this and this, let me put it this way. Right after Hidden Barn launched, the Neely Distillery received just this like tsunami of like, can we buy barrels? Can we buy barrels? We would like to contract this. We want this. We want that. Oh, yes. And so we're super transparent about the process and the production and everything else. We're all about that. But it did become very obvious in the beginning of like, oh, as soon as we start mentioning we get grain from this farmer and it's super good and everybody wants it, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, right?
Yeah. You mess up your own supply.
Exactly. So it's not so much like hiding something because we're ashamed to admit it. We're trying to make sure that we can keep getting it so that we can keep selling whiskey, you know? So
yeah, for sure. I feel you on that. So what's the ages of the bourbons within the blend?
So for
Well, in
this
terms of
first
range.
batch out of series one, these all um they're all 4-year-old barrels, all of them.
Oh, they're all
And I
four.
mean,
Okay.
oh yeah. The flavor profile does not drink like a 4-year-old whiskey,
4 year. I was going to say
right?
for 4 years. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And even weirder, because like, I don't know, you come across barrels every now and then that have gone through a pretty extreme maturation environment and they really soak up that barrel and they
Mm-hmm.
usually gain proof and they're like these beasts of barrels, even if they're young. Um, these barrels all lost proof points. These were filled at 110,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the barrel strength is 106 was like what the collective
Wow.
batch yielded.
Huh.
That's without a rinse, that's without any water addition, and that's without filtration. So like when you're sipping
How
that,
does that happen? I've actually never heard of that happening in the reverse.
because we are
Damn
more
nature.
concerned about holding on to the integrity of the flavor and giving this
Mm-hmm.
like raw bourbon, like that's just beautiful in and of itself, exactly as it is, than we are
Mm-hmm.
about shelf stability or flocking or
Yeah.
anything like that, So,
106 is a
and
nice proof. It's not too
it
hot. It's
is,
not like I don't
no,
have to dilute it.
exactly. And honestly, like this is a small brand, relatively speaking, to a lot of things out there. It's small. And our
Mm-hmm.
audience is a whiskey enthusiast. I think any more the whiskey enthusiast baseline of education is so much higher than it was when I even first started in the industry. And like you're not getting people that are like, what's all the stuff floating in the bottle? Like they get it. Like
Mm-hmm.
they almost like
Yeah.
they want it in its natural form. So
Yeah.
here you go. Here we go,
Yeah.
nerds.
Exactly.
Have at it.
I love it. Well, cheers to the whiskey nerds.
Yes, exactly.
What was I about to ask you? Wait, I got distracted by my cheers to the whiskey nerds. Oh, now you mentioned series. So
Yes.
this is batch one. So this particular bottle is batch one of what's going to
Series
be a
one.
series. Okay.
Yep.
And so of that series, what is um essentially what's going to be your common denominator for each series? Is it going to be where you get the juice from? Is it going to be like the age you pick among the series? What's
So the common denominator for this one, because I mean, I could go to, I don't know, an amusement park and be like, oh, I'm so inspired to put together something that tastes like cotton candy, like whatever the hell,
mm-hmm.
like boom, have a series, doesn't matter. Again, no rules, do whatever. But for this one, what blends this series together, because there will be, um, this is the first one. We are bottling batch two. I think as we're speaking right now, batch two is bottling.
Oh, nice.
We've got batch three right after that one, like literally like back to back, because we're not trying to create false scarcity. We just don't have any money and we put out a conservative small amount of barrels at first and they
Mm-hmm.
sold. So now we can sell more. Like,
Yeah.
but so this is all coming from Neely. This is all double pot still. There's no column still anything in this.
Nice.
This is
Double pasta.
all,
Okay.
yeah,
You can
which
definitely
is
tell the
rare
texture.
with bourbon. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This is all unfiltered. This is all being aged in oak barrels that the wood staves have been seasoned for 2 full years. That makes a
Wow.
huge difference in the
Mm-hmm.
flavor. Yeah, it's all very like, I hate the word rustic. I feel like everybody else is rustic. Like it's not rustic. It's just like labor intensive. I don't know that the two
Mm-hmm.
are necessarily the same, but this is whiskey made in a very hard way. There are no shortcuts in this particular series at all. So you'll see more batches come out. Those batches are 7, 8 barrels, depending
Okay.
on what made sense for me. So they're being done in small doses. The reason for that is to really maintain the integrity of the flavors of every barrel that goes into it. If you dump
Mm-hmm.
1,000 barrels together, the next batch you do of 1,000 barrels is going to taste the same. We're not
Mm-hmm.
trying to get consistency. We're trying to just get balance and quality.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which makes it fun for the people like me who collect
Yeah.
bottles. I don't want to
See?
collect a bunch of stuff that tastes the same.
Exactly.
So that's perfect.
Exactly. So yeah, it's great. We've got some special releases. I don't. How do you say special release when you've had one release?
When
Like
every
there, that
bottle
was
is
it.
pretty much special.
Right. Done.
Yeah, I love
Um,
that.
no, as far as like seasonings and finishes and stuff like that,
I was
that's all
gonna ask
coming
that.
out.
Are you planning for some fun finishes and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Yep. All that
Oh, I
stuff
love
is
that.
getting bottled next up as well. And then we've got
Ooh.
we got all kinds of stuff. It's just this is the very beginning, right? And so it's like,
Yeah, I
oh,
love
everyone's
that.
like, when is it coming? When is it coming? Like, well, now here it is. Even though it's sold, like, great. Like, we're so, so grateful and humbled by that. But that, this is not some sort of like weird roundabout sales pitch. The more you buy, the more we'll make. So, like,
I mean,
you
yeah,
know,
that's
but
how
that's the way
business probably
it works.
works. So
I just saying, like, if y'all want some, like, don't get upset if you don't get a bottle. Just,
yeah,
next time bottles come
keep an
out,
eye out for the next batch.
just get it and we'll keep making more.
And get on that Seelbach email list. I'm just saying,
Oh,
because they always get the
exactly.
information first.
Exactly. And so I do want to talk on that. So like I don't know, I would assume like most people, no, maybe not everybody, but maybe like 90% of the people on here following y'all on social media probably are on the email list. But the the note to the people on the list that said, hey, Hidden Barn, get yours now, like went out. 4 minutes later, it was all gone. So if you're not on that email list, Hidden Barn probably isn't going to show up in your cart anytime soon. Just because, not because it's in high demand. I don't mean it that way. It sounds egoical. It's just because there's so little of it. That's why. So get on that list. If you're not on the list, get on the Seelbach list.
Definitely get on the list. And it is in high demand. I'll be braggadocious for you. It's okay. Humility is appreciated.
Until it's
But
not,
it is in
I
high
don't know.
demand.
Like, it's just the shiny new toy right now. After that,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
it is, and it definitely has to do with the fact that your name holds some weight. People really appreciate the product of the juice you put out. So, does it? I mean, I know that you're avoiding putting too much stock into that because you understand how this business works, but it's got to still feel pretty great.
No, it feels great. No, it feels great to know I didn't make a mistake. Like,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
maybe I did and I don't know it yet. I have no idea, to be determined. But um, I don't know. I didn't do it for any reason other than I recognized what I needed from a professional stance and just from a quality of life stance too. I wanted to be able to spend more time with my son. I wanted to spend more time with
Oh, I love
my
that.
husband, with his kids. Like I wanted to not be constant, just like, oh my God, get the expense report done. You know what I mean? Just, it just,
Mm-hmm. All the
what am I
corporate
supposed to
stuff.
wear today? Yeah, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
don't wear that to the office. Like, I don't know. I don't know why that's the
Is it
voice
like
that.
that when you had to go into the office? I mean, I understand that that's a more corporatized kind of like company, but you still had to care about that?
They relaxed the dress code once everyone was kind of like, sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. The whole COVID thing
Mm-hmm.
kind of relaxed
Yeah,
everybody's stuff.
relax everyone, exactly.
But am I rolling in like in what I'm wearing today? Like,
Yeah, like you
absolutely not.
can't come in like a flannel and some jeans or something.
Right. Oh, I think you can wear jeans on Friday. No, I think you can wear jeans every day. But I do remember when they were like, jeans on Fridays, everyone, and I'm like,
Oh, wow.
that's
That's
just,
actually
it's just
amazes
a
me in
thing.
the whiskey business, in the
Uh,
spirit business, period.
I mean, they I think that like the bigger the company, obviously, there's just protocols. They're just trying to keep things in line. I get that,
Yeah.
and I mean, they're a massive global spirits company, and they have a reputation for being high quality and had a high standard. And so, of course, they want you to dress professionally, not rolling in sweatpants. Like, I get that. I'm not
Yeah.
dissing that, but at the same time, like, I I'm not just like a logical person and like numbers. Like I do that
Mm-hmm.
as much as I need to, but I'm a creative person and I don't thrive in a sterile environment necessarily.
Same, same.
Like I want to
I
be
tried
barefoot.
operating in that environment for all of 2 seconds. It didn't work. It
Yeah.
just did not work.
And I knew this going into it. And like I was vocal about it. And that wasn't doing anybody any service, right? Because it made them look
Mm-hmm.
like they're this like big corporate like monster. And that was never my intention. I've only ever just been honest and myself in interviews and in public facing things. And I don't know, like if it's not a fit, it's not a fit. And there's something wrong with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Not everything is for everybody,
exactly,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
So when you made the decision to transition into tasting and blending, did you like once you vocalized about it, did you have like mentors that kind of helped walk you through like how that process works and all of that? Like how were you able to kind of fine tune your palate and get into the process that way to become a master of the craft?
Yeah. So part of it is palate sensitivity, right? That's definitely like
Mm-hmm.
the gate to walk through first. Articulation of that and understanding of that, understanding of defects is really, really important too. Like the sensory analysis side of it is incredibly important. But when it comes to like combining things, over the past forever at Old Forester, like that's all I was doing was like tasting, referring back, tasting, referring back. Oh, we've got this new thing coming out, like taste, piece it together. The 150th anniversary product, like those blends were constructed in my kitchen in a Home Depot bucket. I'm not ashamed to say that. That's how it was in a
Yeah.
bottle. Like, no, if anyone out there is like, what? Like, that didn't get bottled. But like, I don't know.
Out
I
of the
just
Home
knew
Depot bucket.
that's
Don't
how it
worry,
works.
y'all. They're always professional.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't just like dumped out. But after running the single barrel program from an inventory standpoint for 5 years, you are literally like 100 barrel flushes at a time of like taste, and like you get to a point where you're not just, and you don't have the luxury of sitting down and waxing poetic about like, oh, well, the finish and the aroma, and like, no, you're like, okay, this one is this. You get a system like in your mind that works for
Mm-hmm.
you. And so when it comes to piecing those individual barrels together, it's, I mean, it's ideal that I'm sitting here working with like a small lot at a time and
Mm-hmm.
really just tasting through and tweaking, adjusting, tasting through, tweaking, adjusting. Like I taste them all individually first, and I have my system of post-it notes, and like I shift the bottles around on the table. Like I'm a very like visual person that way, and that's
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, this one, this one, okay.
Okay. Are
But
you
then,
basically like this one has more pepper spice and this one has a little bit more of that caramel, or just is that how you kind of go about your process?
so my process is more structured around texture, definitely, and balance from start to
Okay.
finish.
Oh, okay.
Um,
You doing by texture too. Okay.
oh yeah, oh I'm all for texture.
Yeah. Yeah. No, me too. I'm a
So
texture girl too.
oh yeah, this is. I mean, I remember this having a great texture, but like, I don't know. I feel like my
No, it
palate is
still has a
so
great
bad.
texture. The fact
Okay,
that it's
good.
double pot stilled, I think is really cool.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, you pluck the barrel, you taste all of the barrels, and then you're like, okay, you, and you. And I take my weird little notes, and I've got my weird little codes. Like, if you were to find a sheet of all the barrels that like I tasted to put into a batch, you would be like, I don't even know what it's like hieroglyphics. Like I don't even know what this
Yeah.
says. But like I have a system. But you combine it to the best that you can, and then you go
Mm-hmm.
through it, and then you take a break and you eat something and you come back to it, right? Or you share it with somebody and
Mm-hmm.
go, hey, and you go, okay, no, it's great. It's really, really strong. The mid palate needs to be elevated, right? And so you're kind of just like
Mm.
lifting up the pieces of it to make it ride nice and balanced the whole way. Or like the
Yeah.
finish is too short. Spicy barrels are just the hardest things to work with in blending, because it's like, oh, I'll put
Mm.
5 sweet barrels and 5 spicy barrels together. Wrong. Like you will
Yeah.
put
No.
9 sweet barrels and 1 spicy barrel, because they just like bloom in it, and it's
Yeah.
they're challenging to work with. But
Good old science
oh,
and nature and how you just it's only but so much of it you can
oh,
control. No, I love that.
exactly.
It's almost like chefs, like no two blenders have the same process of how they blend things.
Mm-mm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, someone asked, can you physically burn out your ability to taste constantly?
Yeah.
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 If you don't space it out right, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No,
At least I know
absolutely.
that
I
from
mean,
the judging side. I've definitely burnt out my palate doing ascot before. So I've finally kind of learned like kind of what my capacity is for that. One, I have
mm-hmm.
to start in the morning before I consume anything else. But yeah, and
Absolutely.
then I got to take a break. I got to sit it down, like get away from it for a second, and then go back. So yeah, you could definitely
Yeah.
burn yourself out if you don't fine
Oh,
tune your
yeah.
process on tasting.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
depends. Like the higher the alcohol concentration, the faster the pellet burnout. The If you're sitting there and tasting through like a bunch of different, I don't know, it makes some vodkas or whatever. Like, cool, you're dealing with a lower proof range, and you're not dealing with tannin. Like, that's the part for me. Like, I have to
Mm,
eat something fatty to like replenish
yeah.
that, or I'm screwed. So yeah, you got to take breaks. But you got to know when you're burning out, right? Like, and everyone does it
Yeah.
differently. It's not just like, oh, everything's kind of starting to taste the same. Like, I know there's almost like I can like feel that there's like a blockage somewhere of like, I know I'm not getting the whole picture here. Like, shut it down, walk away, come
Yeah.
back later.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We had a question from someone who's watching. The original MFer said, "Glad I was able to get a bottle. You spoke about finishes. What type of finishes do you like? I have been acquiring Takai finish bourbons and ryes. Do you see that in the future?" That's a good question.
I don't know. I mean, we're kind of just floating around and seeing like what's available out there. Little secret inside information in the industry right
I
now.
love an
Like,
exclusive.
I don't know if it's really that big of a secret. There's like no barrel. There are no barrels out there.
I was just about to say, y'all having a hard time getting barrels like everyone else.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say we acknowledged that it was going to be something that needed attention, and we took care of it. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, but with finishes, you can come up with all kinds of cool shit, right? Well, I guess I shouldn't probably say the S word, but
we're talking whiskey. You can say shit.
Okay. See, you said it, so you gave me permission. That's fine.
I have a potty mouth, so I don't even try it anymore.
Perfect. Yeah, like if someone's got like Sauterne barrels, cool, let's play with it. If it tastes good, cool, we'll bottle it. If it doesn't, like, figure it out then.
Try to do something else with it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Pedro Jimenez finishes myself.
Ooh,
like,
yum. Okay.
Big time. Yeah.
Ooh,
but like, I don't know, like the sky's the limit with it, right? Like you can get super novelty with that process, and I don't know that that's our intention, but like, I don't know what we're gonna do. I have no idea what we're gonna do. We're just taking it day by day.
That's so fun and scary and fun.
Yeah, and scary, but fun.
G. Clemens said, "Hey, Jackie, cheers from Greg and Morgan in Denver."
Oh, hey.
Hey, guys.
Denver's my third home away from home.
Oh, really? I
have a lot of homes away
I haven't been
home.
to Colorado yet. Are you originally from Kentucky?
I'm not. I am from Missouri, and I live in Kentucky. I'm married to a man who lives in Iowa, and I spend the rest of my time in Colorado for the most part. I'm all over the place.
Oh, Lord. Okay, sorry about that. My wife
good.
is in my car, and then my Bluetooth connected to our car. So.
Oh, no.
Yes. So I'm back. Sorry about that. But okay, so your husband is based in Iowa or is from Iowa?
From and lives. Yeah, we live in different states.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm in Iowa right now. Like it's the whole thing. Yeah.
So you live in, how far is Iowa from Kentucky? I'm not a geography
9-hour drive.
Okay.
It's a 9-hour drive, no direct flights.
Do y'all make the drive or do you fly?
I drove up yesterday. Yeah. Podcast, just, pack some snacks and go. I don't know, like get some caffeine.
I am the worst road tripper ever.
I know. It's not my favorite thing. I'm not going to lie, but it is what it is. He comes down more than I come by yourself. So. I have my dog with me, so it's fine.
Yeah, so yeah, not being alone. I like that. Okay, we got a couple more questions from people.
But just kind of chills.
Let me see. We got something bourbon wife. Okay, picked up a bottle in Louisville on Tuesday. Can't wait to pop it open with my whiskey friends. Just wanted to say cheers to stepping out and taking the risk. Yes, agreed.
Love it. Thank you.
We are loving that you are stepping out and taking a chance. Bourbon enthusiasm. Hey, Frank. He said, any chance you'll be putting merchandise on the site soon?
Yeah, we have hats at the Neely Distillery, and we're just, it's a really weird situation to be in, right? Because we don't have any whiskey to sell. Why are we trying to get people to buy it? It's kind of weird, right? Like there's brand awareness, and then there's like trying to move product, and so it's an interesting situation to be in. Like we don't have the budget to just like make a bunch of branded stuff to sell. I mean, I love that people want to support it, but right now, every free cent that we have is being put into purchasing liquid to get it into the hands of the people. But as we grow, keep an eye out. We'll definitely be adding things. If you are in Colorado, we are going to be at Hogfest, which is in Breckenridge. It's like second to last week of August. So we will have hats and branded stuff at that to hand out, which is awesome.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
We have whiskey Jackie NRG said, if Jackie hasn't already mentioned this, how difficult was the transition out of Old Forester into a new world of a new brand? Kind of touched on this already, but they may not have been dialed in at that time.
Yeah, I mean,
was it difficult, or was it just, I mean, you already kind of knew you were ready to do your own thing?
I knew that I was ready to go. The whole process was terrifying because, you know, you don't know, you're making a big decision of giving up something so secure to like just do something, like who knows, like it could have gone entirely differently. It could have, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't know how it was going to go. All I knew was I was going to be basically working less hours, making less money, but also being able
Yeah.
to like have all of these other elements align in my life. So it was terrifying. Like I was sick like the week leading up to like putting in my notice. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm like physically
Yeah.
ill every day. But as soon as I did it, it was like like
So now
literally
you
my
can take a breath.
shoulders just like relaxed and was like, okay, this feels right. But you know, I don't know, to be determined, I guess. Like there's still a chance this was a bad decision, but I don't think it was. I think it feels too right.
Absolutely. Ooh, this is a good question from Joe Stokes. Who has most influenced you in the industry? That's a great question.
Oh man, there's a lot. It's a great industry to be a part of. It's an industry of a lot of integrity and a lot of support and community. It's very, very different from other distilled spirits industries in that, yeah, there's competition still, but like it's not cutthroat the way other things are.
Mm-hmm.
But and I will say this just because I spent half of my drive up here yesterday on the phone with him. Um, Jim Rutledge was my first mentor in this entire industry, and he
Okay.
showed me that it's okay to be honest, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to be honest, and like just go forth and conquer. And even now, after he's left Four Roses and is like still like doing all kinds of things and just applying his awesomeness all over this category, he still maintains those core values of like, you want everyone to work with you, you don't want them to work for you, you want everyone to be enjoying themselves. Like he legitimately, of anyone I've ever met in this entire industry, is the only person that I can say 100%, if it could go above 100%, which numbers that doesn't make any sense, but every
Yeah.
single tiny cell of 100% through and through, he is the most genuine, humble human of all time, and this is his truest calling in life, is to distill. That's all he wants to do. He doesn't want to
Love
retire.
that.
He doesn't want to travel around the country. He wants to make
He wants to
whiskey
do what he's
because
doing.
he loves it all day long. Yeah, he's just
I love that.
amazing.
I love that. I haven't had
So yeah.
the pleasure of meeting him yet. One of these days, we'll manifest that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Someone said, what did Brown Foreman say when you told them you wanted to leave? Were they shocked, mad, surprised?
The best way I could phrase it is this: those who understood why I left were not surprised. I know
Mm-hmm.
that sounds like a very weird, twisted like observation, but and Captain Obvious is talking out of me here. But I think the people I had to give my notice to ultimately were very surprised. They did not see it coming.
Okay.
And it was, I don't know, like, to like really get granular about it, like I had my like letter of resignation and my list of current projects, and like here's
Mm-hmm.
my announcement and here's the statements to provide, and like here's this package of like, hi, I'm
So you
fine.
had to give like a
um
resignation
oh,
package. That's that corporate life.
i I did, because it's, I'm not only representing a brand at this point. I do recognize that even before Old Forester, I had started generating my own personal brand, and you have to be
Yeah.
protective of that. And
Yeah.
so I don't think that they would have ever done anything malicious. That's not them. Like, that's just not the culture there. But
Yeah.
you are the only person fully responsible for you. And if you're not going to
Yeah.
lay out, like, this is what we're going to say, this is what we're not going to say, this is how we're going to
Mm-hmm.
do it, you have
Then
to
the narrative
protect
escapes
yourself.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. Someone else will
Mm-hmm.
take that over. So you have to like overdo it to like keep that. Um, and the
I get
response
that.
was basically like, is there anything we can do to make you stay? And I said, if I thought that there was, I wouldn't have put in a notice. Like I did
Yeah.
not, it was a big decision that I did not make without a lot of thought and preparation. So
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Someone asked, do you have any favorite non-Old Forester pours?
Um, yeah, but most of them are like single barrels that I picked out like way back in the day, like 10 years ago, you know. There's a
Mm-hmm.
couple Four Roses single barrels in there. There's a couple Wild Turkey single barrels in there. But as far as like, hey, go out and grab this off the shelf, like I I I don't
Yeah, I have
have
no
any that I
recommendations for a question like that either. Not
it's
really.
tough. It's a
As
very
many single
personal
barrels and special
thing, right?
finishes as I come across,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to like pinpoint something that I like to go to that isn't kind of like a one of one, essentially.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get that. I get that.
Exactly. And you're always in a different mood, right? Like you don't want the same whiskey
Exactly.
every day. So it's really hard to say
Exactly.
that.
Which is why I have a hard time getting rid of my damn bottles because I pour them so few and far between because I'm in a particular mood for particular pours at particular times.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I can definitely relate. What's it? Oh, Bourbon Barrel Talk had another question. It said, "What's it like working with someone creative like Royce, Nate, and the others?"
It's been really, really great. I mean, he is just so open. Like anything that we want to do, he's like, yeah, okay. Like, why not? Like, let's try that. Let's try this. It just whatever, sky's the limit. Matt is our numbers guy, and we all just,
Okay.
we know and love him dearly. But he's the numbers guy. And Nate was the first person out of the whole group that I knew. I knew him way, way, way back in the day, and we've been really great friends for a lot of years now. It's just the common denominator out of all of it, even though all of our experiences are very different, right? We all come from very different backgrounds. We all like whiskey, step one. That's great, cool, but that's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Deeper than that, we're all incredibly just, we make a lot of decisions based on intuitive means, which is really refreshing, where it's not like, prove to me that that makes sense. Like, it's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. Yeah, I feel like that's right too. Like, I feel good about that. Like, okay, cool, let's do it. But we're all very respectful, and it's a very it sounds weird, ego negative group. Like, and by
Okay.
that I don't mean like we have bad egos. I mean like it's just not part of it. No one's out to do anything for themselves. No one's out with this expectation or like worried about anything. We're like, what makes sense for us and what makes sense for the category and what makes sense for the community of whiskey drinkers. It's not like we're not trying to be cool. We're just trying to like do what we like doing and like pay our bills, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And on
It's
your own
weird.
terms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it should
I
be,
like
right? I mean,
that.
I guess.
Exactly. On your own terms is ideal. You mentioned having a snack when tasting whiskeys to give your taste buds a break. What is your go-to palate cleansing food? Okay, let's
Oh
give them a last
man,
question and then I'll let you go. I'm not going to hold you all day.
you're
But this is a
fine.
good one. What is your go-to
It
palate cleansing
is.
food?
So like, I've been through this a couple of times, the different tastings. There's, I don't know why, and it's a thing, and I just even mentioned it about like, about Jim, that he's so great, but like, I feel like somewhere along the line somebody started introducing tortilla chips into bourbon tastings, and it messes with me so bad because then all I can focus
Tortilla
on is
chips.
corn. Yeah, I don't
I was
know,
going to
but
say that
it's
doesn't
just a
that mess
corn
with how
fest,
much
right?
corn you taste once you
Yeah,
go
yeah,
into the
yeah.
next taste? Like,
I mean, I trust me. I always made the joke that like the day I die, I will donate my body to science. They'll slice it open, and it would just be a corn
it'd
husk
be
come out
corn
between the
tortilla.
bourbon and the tortillas. Yeah, chips and bourbon, like that's all I'm composed of now.
That's
So
hilarious.
I don't know. It's a things that are fatty but mild. So non-pungent cheese is great if you've got like
Really? Never done
this might
cheese.
sound, I don't know. I eat a lot of cheese. I probably
I
shouldn't,
love
but I
cheese. I
do.
just never thought to try it between tastes.
Same thing as if you're like doing like, I don't know, super big bold red wines and like you're just
Yeah.
getting that like tannin overload. Like you need that fat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I eat
Mm.
anything. It just the things that it can't be are spicy or super dry. You know what I mean? Like outside of that,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Nice. Huh.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good
Whiskey
advice. That's good.
snacks. We should make like a snack mix brand. It's like whiskey snacks, like
Whiskey
meant to,
snacks.
yes, yes.
Meant to snack on while you're tasting, while you're drinking neat. I like that.
Whoever wants that out there, you go
Ooh.
for it. Just send me some lifetime
Yes,
supply
I
of
was getting
whiskey
ready to say I want
snacks.
a box too. I love that. Okay, we have one more question that someone threw out there
Okay.
that might be an interesting question, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
Any thoughts on the inflated secondary market and resulting difficulty obtaining good bottles? It's very detailed.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there because I've never
Yeah.
been anti-secondary market. Just, I don't know. I don't think it's like you either think it's okay or you don't. Like, everyone's in a different situation. Let me tell you, if this shit goes upside down and I need to make money to pay my mortgage and I'm in a tight spot, you think I'm not going to sell a bottle of whiskey? Like, I'm not above it. I don't care. But
exactly.
What I do wish people would do is actually taste some of the stuff from time to time because we put a lot of work into it. As of yet, with Hidden Barn launching and being entirely spoken for, the entire first batch out of Colorado and Kentucky and sold out with you guys, I have not seen a single post of one person flipping this bottle. Every single person has opened it.
They're drinking it. Yeah.
For something that's hard to find, but it's like, I don't know, it's hard to find because we just didn't make a lot of it. But like still, I've never seen anything like, I don't know, maybe I'm taking it the wrong way. Maybe I'm like rose-colored glasses over here of like, oh, people understood the message, which was please open it and share it with people because it's really, really tasty. Maybe people are just like, it's not worth anything on the secondary. Like, I don't know. It could go either way.
I wouldn't say
don't know,
that
girl.
the way it's sold out.
I don't know. But like,
it's
open
always hard to tell right in the beginning of something. But yes, open it and drink it. I recommend anybody that buy it, open it.
Share it. Talk about it. Share it with people of legal drinking age, and then talk about it with people of legal drinking age. There's that corporate like risk management.
Drink responsibly. I need to get in the habit of saying that more. Drink responsibly, y'all. I leave people
just
to
their
their
own
devices. Okay, now my last question is: when's your birthday? Just month. Like I'm a zodiac sign person. Okay.
I'm a Libra.
Like you're a Libra. I was just about to say Libra or Scorpio. Okay.
Ooh, really?
I love Libra. No, I'm a Leo.
Oh,
I'm very much Leo. Yes, August. My birthday was on Tuesday. So
happy birthday!
Yeah, but I love Libras. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense now. Why you're like going with the flowy. But so as a Libra, right? Do you feel like sometimes you have a hard time making decisions?
Yeah, every day, nonstop. Like, it's very, very hard. I second guess everything. I'm trying to do what's best that most people will agree upon for the most part. Most of the time. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Like, where do you want to go to dinner? Most of the time I don't have a preference on things, not because I'm trying to like not take responsibility, just because like I like a lot of things, so I really don't care. It can be very frustrating though. I'm like looking at like Chris probably gets frustrated with it a lot of like, what are we gonna do?
I was just about to say, is he like opposite of you where he's very decisive, like quickly?
He's a Virgo, so he's very.
Oh yeah. Okay. I have a lot of Virgo in my chart as well, so I can relate. Okay.
Yeah. So combine that with like this Libra Sun Taurus Moon, like, like whatever, just okay. Yeah, and here I am.
I love it. It's not a bad combination. One is very like flowy, the other one is very like fixed. So
just double down Venus, man. Like, it's awesome. It's great.
And then there's that good feminine energy. I love that. Because Venus is just, we need that energy in the world. So I love that. Okay, well, thank you, Jackie. I appreciate you spending this time with me.
Of course.
You clearly got the people excited. All the whiskey nerds are happy to tune in today. So thank you for everyone who came in, commented, engaged, asked questions. To those who got a bottle, please post it, talk about it, drink it, share your thoughts. If you have any more questions, this will be on our page, so feel free to comment them. And if Jackie feels like she wants to oblige, then she'll give you an answer.
Of course. And the next batch is coming, people. I promise it's coming.
Yes, the next batch is coming. Join the email group. Join our text group. It will be sent out. And open your bottles, guys.
Open those bottles.
Really good.
Share them around. That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, Jackie, have a great rest of your afternoon. What time is it in Iowa? What's the?
It's almost 2.
Time zone there. Okay.
Central.
So we started at 1:00 your time. Okay.
Yep. All good.
Okay. Cool. Well, have a fabulous afternoon and kiss that cat for me, because
I definitely
I'm about to go hug up on my cat.
Perfect.
All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Cheers. Bye, guys.